Welcome to today's market report. European stock markets pushed largely higher Monday amid confidence in global economic recovery despite an ever-rising number of COVID-19 cases. At 8:30 this morning, the DAX in Germany traded 0.5% higher. France's CAC 40 rose 0.1%. The UK's FTSE index was flat. The profits of Chinese industrial enterprises rebounded in May for the first time since November 2019, data confirmed on Sunday, signaling the world's second largest economy is continuing to recover from the coronavirus shutdowns. This is important news for Europe and particularly Germany, as China is one of the largest export markets for European goods. German Chancellor Angela Merkel is set to host French President Emmanuel Macron for talks later Monday. The two leaders are likely to discuss how to get agreement on the recovery fund for the region, given opposition to the Franco-German-inspired plan to distribute the funds to hard-hit areas as repayable loans or as grants. The International Monetary Fund weighed into the debate, with Chief Economist Gita Gupta saying in Der Spiegel that a substantial part of the European Union's package of measures must consist of grants. Still, worries remain over the spread of the coronavirus, with the World Health Organization reporting almost 190,000 new cases for the 24-hour period through early Sunday, a new high. This means the total number of global COVID-19 cases has now topped the 10 million mark, with more than 500,000 deaths recorded globally. Despite the spike in infection numbers, mortality rates are much lower than during the first wave of the pandemic, mainly because the new infections have been largely confined to younger people. The EU-UK free trade negotiations also scheduled to restart this week in Brussels, with time running out and few signs of any progress made in the negotiations over the future relationship. Economic data centers around the European economic confidence indicators for June, due at 9 o'clock London time, along with preliminary inflation data for June from Germany and Spain, and consumer and mortgage lending from the UK. In corporate news, Airbus stock climbed 1.3% despite CEO Guillaume Faury stating the aircraft manufacturer is assuming a 40% drop in production over the next 2 years due to the coronavirus crisis. He added that the company intends to announce possible job cuts before the end of July, thus cutting costs. Oil prices fell back Monday amid worries that the increase in the number of global COVID-19 cases, which has led some countries to resume partial lockdowns, could hurt fuel demand. Years of low natural gas prices finally forced Chesapeake Energy to seek bankruptcy protection in recent years over the weekend. At 8:30 this morning, U.S. crude future traded 1.6% lower at $37.87 a barrel. The international benchmark Brent contract fell 1.4% to $40.34. Gold futures rose 0.1% to $1,782.05. On the FX front, sterling fell 0.8% against the dollar on Friday, touching its lowest level in almost a month, with doubts about whether Britain will seal a trade pact with the European Union at the forefront of investors' minds. Against the euro, the pound was down 0.6% on the day, its lowest level against a single currency since 26th March. Sterling has had one of the worst monthly performances compared to the other major currencies in June. European Central Bank Chief Christine Lagarde said on Friday the worst of the economic crisis unleashed by the coronavirus pandemic is likely over, warning, however, that the new normal will look different from what was before. The former IMF chief Lagarde said she believed central banks have been playing their parts to mitigate the damage. Eurozone money supply and credit to the private sector locked faster growth in May, the European Central Bank said on Friday. The monetary aggregate M3 grew 8.9% year-on-year, which was faster than April's revised 8.2% increase and economists' forecast of 8.6%. The dollar moved higher over the last weekend as investors grew cautious about the resurgence in US coronavirus cases. The US dollar index was slightly higher against a basket of currencies at 97.426. However, the greenback seemed not to react to data showing US consumer spending, which accounts for more than two-thirds of US economic activity, jumped 8.2% last month, the largest increase since the government started tracking the series in 1959. The week ahead, we will see the release of the FOMC minutes and non-farm payrolls on Thursday. This is today's market news. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.